So essentially that's our fly tied now. So we're going to do some considerations of doing a head on a fly. So generally at this point I sort of tell you what I'm going to do with it, because there's a few different processes in it, and so you'll see me sort of finish off the head with super glue and then say, you know, put on a coat of clear or whatever after it. So this is the consideration of finishing the head on the fly. So here we have the head. Fly is tied. Nick off the tying thread. So to set the head, we'll give it a coat of a good super glue. So in this case I've been using Loctite with a brush to put it on. So that's just the first coat. That needs to dry. So in making a normal video you can't sit around and wait for that. So what we'll do is take that away and let that sit somewhere to dry. And we'll put in one that has already got that stage. So this is the super glued head, but as you can see little bits of thread and stuff through that. So next we're going to take a Veniers Black, because it still seems to be the best black. And how I do that is I take the cap off, I shake it, and then the cap of the Veniers thing actually has a little well in it. So I would then set that down on an angle so it creates a little pool. And I'll take a dubbing needle, dip into that and get a little blob of glue on the end of it, and then I allow that onto the head. I sort of go back with it, but I don't want it to get into my materials. Now by having something like super glue or like clear varnish on first there, that'll help to sort of seal the start of your materials, and hopefully the black, even it does wick a bit, shouldn't go through your fly. So just rotate the fly around, adding to your varnish all the whole way around. Until you meet the point where you'd started before. So that itself will then need to dry, and then once it is dried we take a clear varnish and go on it. So we'll take that and set that out of the way somewhere to dry. So once the black has set on it, we then want to get a clear. So you can use a clear Veniers, or you can use well, whatever brand you want. Personally I like Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, or Hard as Nails with nylon ones. And I have a variety of different ones of these, you know, in different stages of aging. So some of them will be quite new and runny, and others will be that little bit older and a bit more tacky. And what you find with that is that the if they've been about for a bit and they're a wee bit stickier, like they said, this bottle's sort of half used, but the stuff's a bit more gloopy in it, a bit thicker, that allows you to build up areas and fill in gaps a bit better, whereas the very new runny stuff just basically gives it a very thin coat but stays the same shape as whatever it previously had been. But this does allow you to slightly change the shape of it, so hopefully that is now our finished head. As you can see, it's nice and glossy, smooth. So that now needs to dry, but because it's quite a thick varnish, what you might need to do is to turn that upright to dry. Now if you do that, put it on a cocktail stick or put it on a spike or something like that, and then set it into some sort of a holder upright, and if you look closely, what will happen is the clear varnish will sort of settle a little bit under its own weight, and that'll give you a slight bit of taper, or more of a taper, to that head, and should give you a nice head shape. So I'll then set that away somewhere. Now what I have are a variety of these things here, which are Kumihimo, whatever that is. It's some sort of a thing for embroidering, but it's like a foam wheel with a whole load of these wee slots. So whenever I'm tying flies and I'm going to do the heads on them, generally I'll put them into all these slots if I'm tying a trout fly. But in this case we're tying a salmon fly, so what I'd do is I'd stick it in on a needle or on a cocktail stick or something like that, and then set that away somewhere to dry. And then, you know, there's space here for what, 32 spaces or something like that, but the bigger the fly, you know, obviously you can't put them too close together, so you can put it at 2 or 3 slots apart and get 10 around this or 20 around it or whatever fits. But that'll go away now and settle there until that's dry. So that is how you do a head in a little bit more detail than what we usually do, and that is our finished Ice Maiden variant.